Hi, everyone. Happy Monday. I am here to give you your ammunition for the week. Today, we are still talking about the three selves of self care. And tonight, our focus is on the future self. And we are going to be trying to give our current self enough ammunition and tools to be able to catapult your future self into your destiny. So stay with me. We will be back in 2 minutes. All right, guys. Hey everyone. Hello, and happy Monday. I am Amari Lee, your life coach, whether you know it or not. And I am here to give you your weekly ammunition. All right, let's take a look. We're gonna see how many people are in with me today. All right. Hello, Facebook. Hi. Hey, Brother Leonard. Thank you for that shout out that you sent me. That was awesome. I heard you guys had a wonderful, wonderful time on Sunday. I really appreciated that video. And excuse me. You guys stay with me today. I am definitely uh, battling something in my throat tonight. But nonetheless, hey, Fontel. Nevertheless, the show must go on. We are talking about the future self, the three selves of self care. But I wanted to just check in with everyone else, see how everybody's week has been going. How we doing, you guys? Let me know how everyone is doing while you guys are doing um your typing. I am going to tell you about my week. It has been extremely busy. Busy but productive. So it's all good. It's been just trying to prepare my future self has been a lot of work, but you guys know I'm all about putting in the work. So, but man, it has been a lot of work. So if I do seem like I'm a little bit off my game tonight, please charge it to this 47-year-old body and not this mind. It's all in here, but I am running on fumes today. So I'm going to need you guys to kind of like hold my arms up because I am definitely pushing tonight. I'm pushing tonight. But this is what I do for you guys because I love you guys and I want you guys to have your ammunition for the week. So, I hate to put you guys on pause, but I really need some water. Yeah. Hold on one second. I got to grab me some water, guys. I don't think I'm going to make it a whole hour. All righty. All right, guys. So, looks like Facebook is in. Did everybody have a good week or what? I have not. You guys talk to me. Tell me how everything is going. Are you guys at work watching me and you guys can't type in, or what's the sitch? How we doing? Hey, Karen, how are you? Hey, Mr. Marlin, nice to see you. Hi, Jeanette. Glad to see everybody coming in. Is it hot enough for everybody? Okay, so in me doing my other business today, I was out in the sun and it was not kind at all. Anybody have the job where you guys are working in the sun or what? Because it was not kind to me at all. I came home and instantly took a nap. My body was like, nope, that was enough. It's hot. Oh, awesome. Oh, okay. Had a rushed up week. It does feel like that, huh? But today's Monday. How you have a rushed up week? Your today's Monday. You already tired, Jeanette? All right, Marlon. See you shortly. All right. So what's going on? How's everybody doing tonight? Let's go ahead and get into it. I was trying to give people some time to kind of join in. I know that it's Monday, and Monday is always that day that seems to drag you through the rest of the week. But it's still my favorite day of the week because you get to hit reset, you get to start over, you get to get more ammunition, you get to get all the tools that you need to get you through the week. So let's go. I know that we've been talking about the three selves, and we had the past self, which is the younger version of ourselves, who have kind of set this whole thing in motion. The things that perhaps our young self experienced, the things that our younger self went through, um, and how our younger self interpreted all of the things that happened to us to bring us up into our current self, that are still either walking out that perception of our younger self or walking out the results of what have occurred in our younger self, and kind of getting a better story based on who we are now compared to what we experienced when we were younger, kind of joining those two stories and making a story that makes a little bit more sense, that we are able to kind of cope with and move forward in. And now we're talking about our future selves and what the future self needs in order to move forward. So tonight we're talking about how to tap in and to open up the dialogue within our current selves so that our future self can have the ammunition that he or she needs to move forward. So I know that that sounds like, what, the open up the dialogue with the current self, but yes, opening up the dialogue, meaning that there are some areas that we don't talk about. There's areas that we move on from. There's areas that we've said, I'm good. There's no need to open up old wounds or crying over spilled milk, or there's so many different things that we are sayings that we have in order for us to kind of cope, and move forward. And so, what I want to do is challenge you today to actually open up the dialogue. Open up the dialogue with yourself so that you can heal and move forward. All right. So let's just visit what we discussed last week. Last week we were talking about allowing yourself um, to celebrate the journey and not just the end game. That along the way, there's going to be pit stops. We go through things, and along the way, we have to, hey, Nat, along the way, we have to kind of celebrate ourselves because now let me just give you a backdrop. So when I am teaching my class, I thank you, Nat. When I'm teaching my young students, I will give them a goal, and that goal is kind of here. I raise my bar all the way here. So let's say that the child is here. My bar is always going to be here. Now I want him to eventually hit this bar, but I realize that right here to here is quite a journey for that child. So what I'll do is I will begin to celebrate the child here, 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 here. Encourage them, celebrate, celebrate, encourage, celebrate, celebrate, encourage, celebrate. Eventually, they hit that mark. Okay. So, not saying that you guys are children. However, I am saying that it works for children as well as adults. So, once you are starting a journey, as we all are right now, on this journey called life, and we're living and we're trying to get to a goal. We all have a goal, and that was what we went over last week. Putting that goal in, actually speaking it out of your mouth. You have to see it. Once you see it, you have to now speak it, and as you speak that thing comes back. That thing comes back to you. And that's called the corridor principle, that whatever you put out, it's going to search for whatever it is that you've spoken out of your mouth, and it brings it back to you. So with that in mind, um, we are trying to make sure that whatever it is that we're sending out is going to grasp it and it's going to come back to us. So in that same example I use with the child that's trying to hit this mark, this is us. You might be right here. This is where your future self is at. So this is what you saw when I challenged you. And I hope that you did do your homework, because I give you homework every time. I hope you did it. And you actually sat down and you started speaking some things out of your mouth. I've been speaking over my new preschool. I've been speaking that I'll be full. I've been speaking this thing. So as I have been speaking it, I promise you, people have been coming to me and saying, hey, I can do this. I can do that. I've had somebody come in, volunteer to do backpacks for the preschool kids as they come in. These are things that's just coming to me without me looking for them. And so, with that, and speaking and challenging myself to move out of my comfort zone, move out of the fear. I love that saying from Lemony Snicket's, you do the scary thing first, be scared later. So as you're speaking that thing and you're saying, this is going to happen, not for somebody else. We talked about that. It's so easy for us to say, you can do it, you're awesome, you can. We see so many directions that people can go in. We can help build somebody's business, build them up, encourage them, but ourselves, we stay stagnant. We don't go anywhere. We don't do anything. We don't move. And the part of that is fear. It's the fear. And so the fear also will clamp our mouths and prohibit us from speaking our dreams, speaking what we've seen, speaking our desires, speaking those things that are so much bigger than ourselves, that our fear is like, whoa, is that even possible? It doesn't matter to me if it's possible or not. You speak it anyway. You go for it anyway. You put that mark here and you start slowly increasing. So opening up the dialogue today, what does that look like? Opening up the dialogue. Opening up that dialogue looks like this. It looks like, okay, this is where we are. This is where we need to be. So, what do we need in order to get here? And why, when we go back, do we stay here and not continue to move forward? So, the dialogue is about kind of coming to grips with your positives and your negatives and blending that together to thrive, because we need both. So that's why I want to open the dialogue. I want to have the discussion. I want the thought of, I'm not going to make it. Nobody in my family ever owned a business. Nobody in I barely graduated. I want to open up the dialogue that says, I'm horrible with money. I can't save. I want to open up the dialogue that says, I'm not good with numbers. I want to open that dialogue up, because the negative and the positive actually can coexist at the same time, and catapult us to where we need to be. Okay, if you're still with me, give me thumbs up. Let me know that you're with me. All right, so it wasn't a contest, but last week Instagram was killing you, Facebook. So, but I always have more people than Facebook, but Instagram, the gram just be. So if you're with me, just give me a thumbs up. Let me know that we're there. All right. Thank you, Nat. Oh my gosh, I love you so much. All right. If you're just joining us, we're still talking about the 3 selves of self-care. We're talking about the future self and opening up the dialogue that's necessary in order to kind of catapult your current self into your future destiny. So we're talking about that dialogue. And like I said, I do apologize, guys. My voice, something's trying to happen, but the show must go on. Okay. All right. So we're looking at the future, our future selves. What does that look like? What do you see that is having a hard time coexisting with what you see now? So I see this here, I'm here, and they don't look the same. Sometimes we have these things that are like oxymorons. This is a positive, it's a two negatives, and it just won't connect, right? So what's the dialogue? What is it that's keeping us from hitting that mark? What is it about us? What is it? This is the time where we actually have to kind of tell the truth, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I don't like getting up in the morning. I don't like working for anybody. I want to actually, let me change that. It could be like this. I want to be my own boss, but I wasn't even a good employee. So I don't like getting up. I don't like working long hours. I don't like, being uncomfortable. I don't like speaking to people. I don't like meeting new people. I have a hard time. I get anxious when I'm around big groups. What is it? There's something that's making what you see and where you are not line up. And we need to line up. We got to get this thing where we're starting to line up. We have to get to where we're able to see the problem, but also see the solution. That's the positive and the negative actually coexisting. I see that I have this issue, but I also see that this is a solution. So somewhere in there, you're right, Nat, there's a disconnect. There's something that's not blending, that's not allowing that thing to stick. Okay. So what we have to do is we have to have that conversation with ourselves and say, okay, what is it? So, all right, Facebook says, always going back to the old comfort zone. Okay, so I want to touch on that. The old comfort zone. Is the comfort zone actually comfortable? That's the question that I would ask you. Is the comfort zone actually comfortable? because we call things that we get used to our rut, our rigmarole. That's a new word. My girlfriend says it all the time. A rigmarole. We get used to that thing that we do every day, constantly, the same thing, same thing, same thing. But is it really comfortable? Um, Sometimes we have some things that we do that we're used to and not necessarily comfortable, but more habitual, right? But I totally understand what you say. I digress. That's just me with words. But going back to the old self, and it has to, and this is why we want to open up that dialogue. We want to open up this conversation. So it's this thing that we have to figure out why do I keep going back? And you know it's kind of like when we go back, so we're hitting strides, right? And then something happens that causes us to go back. Now when we start going back, then um there's this thing that kind of pulls us back down. And that could be our comfort zone. That could be that part of us that's like, this is too hard. Something happens when we're going this, because we'll be going, then boom. Now I'm going to talk about myself because I'm actually going through this same thing with you guys. I'm trying to get to the future self. And for me, what happens is I go. Like I've said before, I'm like a hound dog. I smell blood and I'm going to go until I find it. So I'll go. But then what happens for me is I get to a certain level where I kind of plateau. Nothing's really moving, or it appears that nothing's really moving. It starts off like boom, 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 boom. Everywhere I move, I'm moving, I'm shaking, every door is opening. But then it gets to like this plateau where it's not that the doors are closed or they're open, they're just kind of ajar. So the door is just kind of like this, but nothing's coming out, nothing's going in. That's my moment of discouragement. That's when I start either going here or I start looking around for some other options rather than just stay in the course. Now, that's for me. I don't know if that's for you, if you have something similar that happens to you, fine, give me thumbs up. You're with me. But other people have something that the dialogue needs to be opened. The conversation needs to be had. Hey, you could be here if you stopped A, B, or C. But then the question is, the dialogue where it opens up is, why are you doing A, B, and C? And until you have that dialogue, you'll keep doing this, this, because there's no dialogue. You're just trying and you're going, but you're not kind of looking at, you're not having that man in the mirror experience. And that's what we need to have tonight. We need to have that man in the mirror experience where we say, hey, this is where the issue is. I noticed that when you first start off something, it's great. You have the momentum. You have all of the help you need. That's somebody else that I know that helps. That is something that throws other people off. Because when you first start off with something, everybody's on your team. Everybody's like, yes, yes. Oh, man, this is going to be so great. I got you. Yes. You get people signing up. You get people who's helping you. They come out. They're passing flyers with you. They're doing whatever it is they need to do. But then they have their own life. And this is totally fair. They have their own life. They got their own things they have going on. So their cheerleading can only go so far before their own life pulls them and says, hey, don't forget, you got to take care of your life as well. So, but for some of us, that derails us because now we're discouraged because our cheerleaders got tired. Our cheerleaders aren't cheering as much as they used to, and now we find ourselves alone in this thing trying to move forward. So that might be your thing. I don't know what your dialogue is, what needs to be opened, but it needs to be opened, because in order for you to break through and just hit that mark, you have to know what's pulling you down and why it's pulling you down. So this is the dialogue that I'm talking about. So talk to me. What is your dialogue? What's happening in you that allows you to take 2 steps forward, but then like 7 steps down? Um, Let me see. Insta says the only comfort in it is that it's not the unknown. Right. Absolutely. So what Nat was saying is that when when we say our comfort zone, the things that make us comfortable, um the thing that makes it comfortable is that it's not unknown. You know it. So it's not anything that you don't have to stretch yourself. There's no fear factor. There's no push. It's kind of a lackadaisical position, and you already know about it. You know what's going on. You kind of, it's this nice little rhythm that you have. But when you come step outside of that, and now you got to push, and now you're out there, and you're having that Peter on the water experience. You're just out there, and now that's work. That's work. There's a difference between floating, doggy paddling, and then doing a full-on swim, right? There's a difference. And that comfort zone that Miss Keitel was talking about is that floating, you know um after, when you're swimming for a long time, you know, um, you want to just kind of float for a while. But sometimes where we're trying to get to, it's not time to float. It's time to doggy paddle. It's time to doggy paddle. I've made this analogy before about the piano, about how, when you're trying to get the piano up to the top of the hill, it's hard, man, because you're pushing. You got this thing on these rollers, and that sucker is heavy. It's taking work. You're going to hit certain parts of that hill where you need people to come help you push. Then you get to other parts of that hill where you're okay. Your momentum is carrying you. But when you first start at the very bottom of that hill, that baby is heavy. You have no momentum. You have no stride. You have no rhythm. You're starting off from scratch. And some of us are right there right now. You're at the very bottom of that hill, and you're trying to just get some kind of momentum. And when you're doing that, it can really literally feel like you're hitting a ceiling every time, because you haven't gotten that momentum yet. And so for you, if you're there, you may be saying, hey, the reason why I can't move is because I can't move. It's too heavy. The idea of being more than what I am is so overwhelming. I don't even know where to start. The possibility of being drama free, um, you know, uh, what is it, debt free? These things are so much bigger than myself that I can't even get a good rhythm yet, or I'm so bombarded with negativity, so bombarded with bills, so bombarded with everything else that I can't get a good momentum. That might be you, but that's still a dialogue that needs to be opened up. It needs to be had in order to move yourself forward to get closer to your future self. Okay. We talked about now. Now is only 3 to 5 seconds. So from the time that you start to the time that you end is a matter of time. But now is 3 to 5 seconds. What I said 3 to 5 seconds ago was past. Now we're in now. And then now we're in now again. Now we're in now again, right? So now is continuously occurring. That possibility of having a right now moment is continuous throughout your whole life. So what we want to do, hey Mo, what we want to try to do is open up that dialogue and find out what it is that is making us stagnant. All right. Going to the gram. Marlon said frustration kills drive. Absolutely. It can, because you get frustrated, and But I'm gonna say this to you, Marlon. Frustration, the drive that's killing the drive. Sometimes is the failure to plan, right? But that dialogue has to be opened up, because when you open up that dialogue, then you're like, okay, this is what we need to do. This is how we get from A to Z. This is the plan. Now, when you get frustrated with the plan, you still have a plan, and that kind of gives you a correct sense of frustration. Hi, June. I was looking for you. Nice to have you. Thanks for joining us. So it's this drive that comes, and when that frustration comes, Marl, it's like, as long as you have a plan, you have the ability to kind of push through the frustration, because there's a plan and there's a way, Marlon, to even work that frustration into your plan. Because when you're looking, you step back and you say, this is where I'm trying to be. This is where I'm at. So I got to level up here. And then when you look at your plan, you're going to see, man, to get from, L to M. Ooh, that's going to be tough. I'm going to get frustrated. You see what I'm saying? We work the frustration into the plan. We work the fear into the plan. We work the headaches into the plan. We work the extra parts of us where we know we got to push harder. We put that in the plan, right? So now the emotional part of it, the frustration, the anger, the disappointment, the fear, all of that, as it's coming at us, we've already prepared for that. We know that this is scary. I am at a place in my other business where I am just out there in the middle of the water. Literally, no boards, no rafters, me and Jesus, just out there in the middle of the water, but I knew it was scary, but again, do the scary thing first, be scared later. So that's where we are. So that level of frustration can very well kill your drive. And if you know that frustration is a part of the journey, you work it into your plan. Thank you, Marlon. I appreciate that. I really do. Because my phone is about to not a problem. It'll be in the replay, June. Thank you. So let's go to Facebook. All right. Self-confidence. So self-confidence is a conversation, a dialogue that needs to be open. So if we're looking at self-confidence, the wonderful thing about self-confidence is that it's confidence that you give to yourself. So it's all on you. It's not anything that anybody else can give you. It comes from within. And I would hear the dialogue that we would have if we were face to face. You would probably say, well, how do you build yourself up when you're already so low? Right? So I'm going to take you right back. Excuse me. Yeah, pray for my throat, because it's really trying to shut down. I'm gonna take you right back to where we at? Yeah, to this one. Reverse the ratio, right? We were right back to reversing the ratio. How do you build yourself up when you're so low? When life, when events, when circumstances have got you so low, how do you build yourself back up? You reverse the ratio. You literally speak the opposite of what you think so much until it becomes your reality. And I know that it sounds like, oh, this positive thought and doing it is, honest to God, the truth. It's the honest to God truth. You have to speak, because again, remember, corridor principle, you speak that thing, all that thing comes back to you. There are so many people. My husband was talking about this the other day. He says, I noticed that you always find something to compliment somebody about. And I do, because it's something that's necessary for everybody. We all need to hear that we're beautiful. We all need to hear that, we're smart, or man, how did you get so smart? I say things to people, and a lot of it is not so much that I'm being fake, I'm lying, because I'm not. I don't make things up. I just have an eye to find something that's beautiful in somebody. It doesn't matter. I like your beard. I like those shoes. Or man, your skin is beautiful. Man, that's I never thought I could wear that color. You my complexion. I'm gonna wear that color. I'm not making things up. I'm helping people reverse the ratio because I needed my ratio reversed. I needed the same thing that Karen is talking about. I needed that self-confidence. I needed that boost. I needed someone to speak that into my life because of so much negativity growing up that my self-confidence was low, 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 but I had to open up the dialogue. Who was saying it? What did they say? And why did I believe it so much? And now my confidence is way higher. I mean, the things I do now I would have never done before. You're looking at somebody with purple hair. Look how short my hair is. Never, right? So it's these things that you have the control of. Confidence is something that we individually have control of. We set the narrative. We decide what's going to be spoken or not spoken about ourselves. We can hear people will have their opinions. They're going to say what they want to say. They're going to do what they want to do. But at the end of the day, we decide what's true and what's not true. And so your confidence has to come from yourself. You have to literally speak that thing. You have to say, hey, sometimes you can be so low that all you can say is, hey, even if it don't work, at least I tried. Even if it don't work, it was better than doing nothing. Even if it don't work, you fill in the blank. Sometimes that's all you can do. You don't have enough wins in your history to kind of push you to do better, to try harder, to go further. But when you don't have those wins, sometimes you say, hey, what's the worst that could happen? I'm already low. They have that saying that when you're at the bottom, there's nowhere else to go but up. You can't go no lower than where you are. So why not try? Let's just try. Who knows? It might just work. All right. So looking at that and saying, we're trying to reverse this ratio. Thank you, Fawn. I appreciate that. Hoping that these little nuggets are helping tonight, helping you with wherever you are in your journey. So Jeanette says, the more I tune into Mending Monday, the more it starts not to feel so comfortable. I don't know if I should apologize or not. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna apologize for that. That's my job, is to move you out of your comfort zone, is to move you out of that space where you give yourself permission to do less than what you're able to do. And that's what we're here for. We're here to open up the dialogue and say, okay, hey, what's pushing me down? What's keeping me stagnant? What's keeping me in this position that I don't want to be in? I want to thrive. I want to have my own business. I want to make more money than what I'm making. I want to, do more, and it doesn't always have to be financial. Sometimes we say, I just want to get out more. I want to spend more time with my family. I want to spend more time with my children. I want to, spend more time with my wife, my husband. Whatever it is, it's here and you're here. And if you find yourself in a deficit, then there's a dialogue that needs to be had. Okay. If you're still with me, please give me thumbs up, hearts, love me. And let me know that you're still in the room. I gotta take a break to drink some water. How are we doing? How's everybody? All right, awesome. Facebook, we doing all right? All right. So, in opening up this dialogue, there are certain things that need to be considered. And one of the things that needs to be considered when you open up this dialogue is creating yourself a safe place. And sometimes that safe place may come from just allowing yourself, getting yourself in the place where it's like actual environment in your own space where you say, today we're going to hash it out. We're going to cry it out. We're going to yell it out. We're going to scream it out. We're going to do whatever we're going to do, but we're going to work this out. We're going to get to the bottom of it, and we're just going to feel it, and then we're going to move past it. You know, that safe place. Sometimes that safe place comes from a loved one, a friend, somebody that you trust, that you can say, hey, I need to talk this out. Can we talk this out? You know, can we come together? I need a safe place. I need someone that I can actually speak to and say, hey, this is what it is. A lot of my things that I've gone through have been by myself, me and Jesus. That's it. You know, and so it doesn't always require another individual, but what it does is require a safe place. That's necessary. You have to have a safe place, a place where you know you can kind of hash it out. I don't know if you guys can see my background. Let me see if I can turn it. Uh, yeah, you see that board up on my wall right there? That's sometimes this is my safe place. And so what that looks like is I come into this office, I come into my office and I get my marker out and I get on that board. I just start writing. I just start writing everything I feel, everything I think, everything, my emotions, my anger, my whatever it is. And I just start writing it out, writing it out, writing it out, writing it out. And sometimes I'm in here, I might cry, I might laugh, I might scream, I might do whatever it is my emotion has kind of brought up. And I experience it, I feel it. And then I will just sit right there on the ground like a baby, crisscross applesauce, and I just look at what I wrote. I look at what I wrote and I say that because it was in me and it needs to come out. This is the dialogue. Whatever is in you, it needs to come out because now you can look at it. You know, now you can see it. It's clear. Now you know, okay, yeah, I need to deal with this. This is real. This is real. And a lot of times, you know, I put people on the wall. You know, I might be having a hard time with a family member or a loved one or a client or, you know, whatever. And I'll put them on the wall and then just allow my emotions to come up, whatever it is that I feel, the anger. And I just put words, 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 words. And then I step back and I look at it and I say, okay, this is what was in me. Now let's make sense of it. This is the dialogue. We're opening up the dialogue because now I'm in a safe place. I've gotten it all out of me. I put it up there on the wall, and now I can step back and say, what the heck is going on? What's real? What's real right now? And then I can look at it and say, nah, it ain't her. It's you, Omara. You're tripping. You're the one you are angry because of this, this, this. Is it even her? Is it, are you really mad at her? Are you really mad at him? Or is it this other issue? What is it? But the dialogue has to happen because if not, I'm carrying it. And what it's becoming is that piano we talked about. Now I can barely push that thing up the hill because it's sitting on me like a piano. And I can't get any momentum because of whatever it is that's causing me to become stagnant, where I can't move, where I can't. It's now this piano literally sitting on my chest. So that's one of the things that you have to have when you're coming in and you're attempting to open a dialogue. You need that safe place. This is my safe place. And when it's bigger than me, I do have a circle of friends that I can call upon and say, hey, we need to hash this out. It's going to probably be about 2 or 3 hours. So clear your calendar. Can you give me an evening? And we can come together and have a meeting of the mind. Sometimes it's just me and my husband. I say, baby, we need to work this thing out because it's too much. I can't carry this. And still have the forward momentum that I need. It has to come off of me. I got to get this thing off of me. And so you got to have that safe place. Sometimes, it may be your therapist, it may be me, it may be your life coach, it may be your husband, your spouse, it may be your group of friends, whoever it is, but you got to have a safe place because the dialogue has to be had. Because if not, again, here's the mark. This is where you're trying to meet. If you don't have that dialogue, you're going to keep doing this. You're going to keep coming back down. I don't know where that sound effect comes from, but you're going to keep coming back down. You're doing this tango, forward, backward, forward, back, up or down. So you got to open up the dialogue, guys. You got to be willing to face the things that's hindering you. You got to be willing to have the conversation, because if you don't have the conversation, you're just carrying a piano on your back going uphill. All right. So you got to have that safe place. You got to have that safe place. And the second thing that you need, if you're going to have that dialogue, is you got to have a truth buster. What's a truth buster? You got to have somebody that's going to say, yeah, no, that's not how that happened. No. No. You got to have somebody that's willing to be that stone wall. And no matter how much you try to move past it, they're going to be your truth buster. Like, no. So, for example, I have someone in my life and I say, man, I'm doing this preschool thing and it's like I'm starting over from scratch. And she said, you're not starting over from scratch. I'm not even going to let you try that one. And I'm like, I am starting over from scratch. She said, you had a daycare for 16 years. How was that from scratch? And I'm like, well, it wasn't a preschool. She said, but you still have the experience. She said, so my expectation is for you to start here. You don't get to start here. That's my truth buster, right? And even though it was just in conversation, she wouldn't even let me put that in the atmosphere. As it came out of my mouth, she grabbed it like midair, like, nope, and gave it back to me and said, we need to change that. That's not going to work. Because if she would have allowed me to say, I'm starting from scratch all over again, now what I'm doing is I'm giving myself permission to start here, because I'm starting from scratch. I'm starting from ground zero. But when she came as my stone wall, my truth buster, she was like, no, you're not starting from scratch. You got 16 years experience. How is that from scratch? She said, so my expectation is that if your mark is here, you should be here. All you're doing is changing your audience. She said, you're just doing little tweaks where now you're doing preschool only. You've been teaching for 16 years. She was like, no, you don't get to start from scratch. She wouldn't allow me to give myself permission to start down here. So you're going to need that. You need your safety, your safe place. You need your truth buster. Okay. Your truth buster. And then what you need is a little bit of faith, and not much. You just need a little bit of faith. You need enough faith to speak some things. You need enough faith to move even when it seems like it's not happening. You move anyway. You move anyway. And every no is an opportunity to get a yes. My girl Nat, I don't know if she's still with me, but she was like, no's are like what did she say? Something like no's are like they give her momentum. Like she loves to hear no, because no gives her the drive to create a yes. And my mom used to always say, what's the worst thing they can say? No. So when you're afraid to do things, it's just a little bit of faith, just enough to open your mouth and speak. Open your mouth and speak. Hi, Stacy. Open your mouth and speak and get to where you need to go. There's no, at this point in our lives, in our journeys, there's really too much around us. I see businesses opening all the time. I see people, purchasing homes all the time. I see people going on vacations all the time, which means that me saying that that's impossible, me saying I can't, me saying All of these negative things that's keeping me down, me strapping this doggone I can't piano on my back, it doesn't fly. It don't fly because too many people are doing it, which means that it is a possibility. And everybody ain't born with a silver spoon in their mouth. We can't say that anymore. We can't say, oh, well, it's because of this or it's because of that. No, people are making a safe place to have a dialogue of where their shortcomings are and then finding solutions for those shortcomings. And they're using the little bit of faith that they have, that little what's the worst that could happen, and they're moving forward. And that's what I want for you guys is to move forward, to get out of this place. You got to get tired of saying the same thing. You got to get tired of being tired. You have to get tired of being sad. You got to get tired of being angry. You got to get tired of blaming people. I mean, you got to get to a place where you say, hey, it got to be better than this. There has to be something better than this. Because if not, you'll continue to stay right here and you'll get this little burst of energy that allows you to level up, and then you'll go straight back down. You'll level up and then you'll go straight back down. So those are some of the things that you need in order to open that dialogue and to be able to move yourself forward to where it is that you are trying to go. So I hope that was helpful. Anybody have, I'm going to open it up to have questions. If you have any questions, this is the time to kind of just throw them out there. Let's see. Let's go to the book. Stonewall here. All right, awesome. It's good to know, Stacy. How you doing tonight? Everybody needs a truth buster. Everybody needs that stone wall that doesn't allow you to rest, that doesn't allow you to just take the easy route. You need that person in your life. Everybody has to find somebody. And a lot of times it's the person that you don't like. Let me just say that. A lot of times the person that's your truth buster is the person that you don't like, because it's the person that rubs you the wrong way. She pushes you. He pushes you. He always, when it got questions, well, why didn't this happen? Or why didn't this work? Or why? Those are the people that are your truth busters. Those are the ones who are really telling you, nah, there's no excuse. Why haven't you done this yet? Why aren't you doing this? And when you're trying to give them the excuses and you're saying, well, because of this, and they don't give you no wiggle room, I would say that's the people that keep around you. Even though they irritate you, even though, keep those kind of people around you. Okay, because those are the ones that's going to help you get to your destination. So we've been talking about this this piano and trying to push it all the way up to the top of the hill. The best thing about a piano, when you get it all the way to the top, right? You get all the way to the top, the rest of the ride is easy because you get all the way to the top, and then the rest you just coasting. You coasting. You got so much momentum. You just coasting. And that's where you want to be. You want to be at that place where you're coming down now and you can enjoy the ride. Remember, we talked about that last week. I wish I should have saved some of that stuff from last week about what are you going to say to your future self if you could. And people were saying, we made it. It was worth it. It was worth the journey. The sacrifice was worth it. You know, we had all these positive things that we were saying. Well, that's when we coming down that hill. We coming down that hill, baby. And that thing, you know, Miss Keitel saying, you know, she's tired of being tired. Yeah, you gotta get tired of being tired of being tired of being tired. You know, you gotta get to that point where you say, what's next? In hell or high water, I'm gonna get there. I'm going to get there. And you surround yourself with the people that's going to push you and not allow you yourself to have excuses. That's not acceptable. That's not acceptable. That's not acceptable. So every time you get ready to come down, you hit their brick wall. They push you back up. You come down, they push you back up. They push you back up because they're not going to allow you to have a pity party. They're not going to allow you to have every excuse under the book. They're not going to allow you to become stagnant. They want to know why you're not moving. Where's your momentum? What happened? Where you at? What you doing? And sometimes it does come off quite negative. You got those people who are like, "Oh, you ain't started your business yet?" No, I haven't. But I'm doing this, 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 this. And those same people, sometimes if you ask them, you say, I haven't because I'm trying to do this, 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 this. Sometimes they like, that's easy. All you got to do is blah, blah, blah. They may have the answer that you actually need. They may have it, because they're watching you. They're watching you. It may come off like they want you to fail. They may, um, they may seem like they're very negative, or you don't have this, you don't have that, but you have to get an ear to hear what's coming towards you that you can work with. That makes sense. You got to have an ear that even when someone's speaking negative, you're looking for the meat. Forget the bones. You're looking for the meat. So even when they're like, yeah, well, you can. One of the things that was brought up was the comment that you can't buy a house because you don't have. Hi, Connie. You can't buy a house because you don't have uh, any money. When you hear something like that and you're like, oh, it's so negative, instead of letting it get you down, you got to have an ear to hear the advice that's in the negativity. Oh, I should teach on that. The ear to hear the advice that's in the negativity. So when they say, oh, you can't do this because you don't have any money. So how do I get money? Oh, you can't do this. You're not going to be able to do X, Y, and Z because you never finish what you start. How do I learn how to finish what I start? Oh, you can't da 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 because you're stupid. Okay, well then how will I learn about this? So even if I don't know 1 + 1, I bet you I know how to count that. I can count my money. I can do this. I can do that. So getting to that place where we're able to even hear the positive, the message, the advice in the negative person. So we're getting to where we want to be able to have that dialogue. And the other thing I do want to just briefly speak on is surrounding yourself with people who know more than you. I have people that's on my team that know way more than me in a lot of areas because I can't do it all. I don't know it all. And the time it would take me to learn to do it, I could have very well just asked somebody to help. That's why you can't be a man on your own island. You can't just be out there by yourself. You got to learn how to get along with people. You got to learn how to talk to people. You have to learn how to ask for help and to actually work with people. Anything that's worth having, anything that you have in the future, you got to learn how to get along with people, guys. Some of us want to be our own boss. We want to have our own kingdom. We want to do our own thing, but we're not willing to bend. We're not willing to shift. We're not willing to be taught. So you got to let yourself be teachable as well. Okay. So any questions before we get ready to sign out of here? I thank you guys for bearing with me. I'm definitely going to have to get some tea and rest this voice today. Going up. This is not the hill I want to die on. Absolutely. All right. So this will be the last comment that we go over on Facebook. Facebook said, I'm going on. Let me see. It says, I'm going up. This is not the hill I want to die on. And I think that's a good note to leave on. It's not the hill that you want to die on. You don't want to die with all your potential still locked inside. You don't want to die with all of your gifts and your talents still inside. You want to leave that stuff out here. You want to leave that stuff out here in the earth realm because that's what you were given all this stuff for, was for the earth realm, not for for you to hold to yourself and say what you coulda, shoulda, and woulda done, but you actually did it. You left it all here. You know, I've spoken what has been given to me to speak. So what I do, my life coach, my whatever, my teaching skills, my whatever it is, I've given mine out. I've put it out there. I've said, hey, I'm here. I can help. I can do. I'm leaving my stuff right here. It's not going with me. So don't let the hill that you're on be the one you die on, unless you die pushing it up. Cause hey, then I'm a celebrate you. Like she almost made it. She was on her way. But don't die with the piano still on your back. All right. So, just a reminder before we get out of here that the fourth Monday of this month, I will not be in my Mending Mondays because we are doing a special session, which is called Wow. That session for this month is transforming your thinking so it sticks. All right. Transforming your thinking so it sticks. So no longer, and it kind of goes with what we're talking about here. The difference between the wild session and these sessions are that you do have to pay for these sessions. These sessions are 2 hours and they are on Zoom. So if you want, let me see if I can put it in the comments. Oh shoot. Well, yeah, you guys know. If you want to sign up for those WOW events, then you need to go to my website and hit the services button, scroll all the way down, you'll see the WOW and you can sign up there. I will be posting a flyer up tomorrow, hopefully on Facebook as well as Instagram, and you'll be able to get that information as well. Just sign up for that session. Again, it's 2 hours. It's a first come, first serve. We don't go past 20, and it's more of a dialogue. You hear me, I hear you, and we kind of hash out. We get to kind of work on some of those individual things that you may be struggling with. So hopefully I will see you guys there. Again, that's the fourth Monday. I will not be in my Mindy Monday. So if you come here, I will not be here. All right. Again, I am your life coach, Omar Lee, and I hope that these nuggets are going to be helpful for you as you're going through this week. I want you guys to be well, be selfish, just a little bit, and take care of yourself. All right. And I will see you guys next week. Bye, guys.